Today I am going to talk to you about how I proposed at Disney World. I'm not going to keep this on. Oh, how does she do it? Yes, it's just me today. Caroline is not here, so I feel like I'm intruding on her channel, even though I'm in her videos, but it's just me. Anyway, yes, today I'm going to talk about how I proposed at Disney World, the planning, the scheming, and all of the things that I had to make sure were done without Caroline knowing. So when I actually proposed, it was still a surprise. So I think one of the main things is, why Disney World? Why did you want to propose there? The main reason is I couldn't actually think of a better place to do it. I know that we both were talking about wanting to go on holiday there, and it was pushing sort of six years that we'd been sort of dating, and after a while people were like, hey Sean, when are you going to propose? Bearing in mind that me and Caroline had sort of been living together for a couple of years. We'd been together since uni. There were all these big factors that people were like, I think it's time to propose. However, they don't know is that I was always planning to do it, but I wanted to do it at Disney World because I knew it would just be magical and special and we'd both love it. So when the time came that we booked the holiday, I was like, okay, it's ready. The ball was in motion. I was like, I need to plan so many different things. So yeah, we booked the holiday and I figured out how long we were going for, and I was like, right, that's the date. The 10th of August is the date that it's going to happen. Then the next thing was, I need to get a ring. How am I going to get a ring when we're both off on the weekend, and if I just toodle off somewhere, Caroline's going to start suspecting it. So what I did was I booked 2 half days off from work without Caroline knowing. The first half day was for me to go to a jeweller's to discuss the ring that they were going to make for Caroline. So I kind of planned that, so it was by the time I'd got back from the jeweller's, it would look like I got back from work, obviously. But that was it. So I'd gone to the jeweller's and discussed that Caroline was like a magpie and she liked shiny things, so he showed me a few examples and we kind of spoke and, you know, decided on a sort of ring. Then a few months went by and, you know, we were then prepping for Disney and, you know, buying t-shirts and planning what we wanted to do and watching loads of vlogs. Then I had to go back, so he rang me up. So I left at lunch, went back to the jeweller's to pick up the ring. It was getting closer to time now and I was getting like, so I got the ring and I brought it back, and it was actually in our cupboard in our bedroom for a couple of months, I think. Oh no, it was about a month before we went. I was like tenterhooks every time Caroline was moving around when I wasn't there. I was like, don't go in the cupboard, don't go in the cupboard. So then when the time came when we had to start packing, I had to make sure that I managed to get the ring out. I put the ring in my hand luggage because that was the next thing that I had to do. It was to get the ring through security. That was horrendous. So we went down to Premier Inn. I think it was Premier Inn before we went to America. Stayed the night there, and so the ring was in a sock in the box. So it was in the box, in a sock, in my bag, in my hand luggage. That hand luggage, I was like, it's not leaving my side. Caroline was like, oh, I'll take it. I was like, nope, I'll take them. So yeah, so the night before it was in there, absolutely nervous going through security. I was like, how am I going to do this? This is a metal object in my box. They're going to stop me. They're going to search me. I'm going to have to propose at the airport. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. So many thoughts went through my head. I think as we were queuing up, we came to sort of the, it was our turn to put this stuff in the tray and go through. And I kind of waited back a little bit and go on, you go first, Caroline. So she went first and then she went through. And so as soon as she went through the little metal detector, I said to the lady behind the, who was doing the trays, I said, oh my God, there's a engagement ring in my hand luggage. Is it gonna go off? And the woman went, I've got you, it's fine. And it was so nice of her, she actually made sure that my bag went through. She walked behind, so behind the scanners, she walked with my bag and through to the other side. And when it got through, she put her thumbs up and she said, you're good to go. And I was like, don't make it too obvious. Caroline hopefully didn't get the hint, and it was a weight lifted. It was relief. I got through security. That was one of the things that I was most worried about, because I'd heard stories of people going through it and going off, and then, you know, their partner standing there going, oh, why is it going off? What have you got in your bag? That went smoothly as anything, and I thank the lady. I can't remember her name, but she was a lifesaver. That was it, we were through. And I had the engagement ring in my hand luggage, and boy oh boy, I did not let that out of my sight. When we got on the plane, hand luggage went away, and that was it. I could forget about it for about 9 hours, and that was all good. The next thing was when we got to the hotel, and so we arrived the 3rd of August, 3rd, 4th of August, and I was like, I'm going to propose on the 10th. What am I going to do with this ring? I couldn't take it out, and I could have put it in the safe, because we both had access to the safe, and I thought Caroline was going to find it. So what I did is I kept it in my big suitcase in the room, but I kept my suitcase locked. Did she notice? I don't think she did. I had to make sure that everything that she would ever need was out of my suitcase and just in hers, so she could access it. Otherwise, whew, that would have been annoying. Like, yes, I've locked it. Why have you locked it? I don't know. But anyway, so until the 10th of August, the ring was in the suitcase in our room, locked. And I was like, oh gosh, please, no maid just come and decide to wheel our suitcases out, otherwise I'm going to cry. And it was one of the days before the 10th of August, Caroline was like, it got to about sort of lunchtime, and Caroline was like, I need to go back to sleep. I need to go back to the hotel and sleep. And I was like, yes, me too. So Caroline got back, and I remember her just kind of walking in and just falling into the bed. And I was like, I don't want to sleep in the bed. I want to go down to the pool. So Caroline was like, okay, whatever, you do what you got to do. So I got changed into my swimming stuff, and I grabbed a towel and I went down to the pool. This was a lie. What I actually did was I went down to the reception and asked them how I could get Magic Mickey or Talking Mickey involved in the proposal. I've always wanted to have Mickey Mouse to help me out on the proposal, even before I knew that Talking Mickey existed. Mickey Mouse is my favourite character, and she knew the one that started it all, and so I couldn't think of a better person to help me propose to Caroline. So I asked them how I went about it. Did I have to kind of write them a letter, a little note, and show them before I went in? But then I was like, how could I do that? Caroline's going to be there. Lots of different thoughts went through my mind, and I was like, oh gosh, how am I going to do this without Caroline realising? So I went down to reception, and I said to the person there, I'm planning on proposing, and I want to do it on the 10th of August with the help of Mickey. What do I do? So she said, Mickey is very good at improvising, and so are the cast members. So basically just go and do what I need to do there, and they'll play along. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit risky, but I said, is there no, and she was like, that's kind of all we can do. And I was like, okay, fine, this is how I've got to do it. But what she did, and it was so lovely of her, she said, what I can do is I can give you an all-day fast pass. And I was like, what's an all-day fast pass? And she said, basically, you can go to Magic Mickey and have a fast pass for any time on the 10th of August. I was like, that could work. So after that, I was like, oh, there's a weight lifted. So I then went out and lay by the pool for a little bit. And then when I came back a couple of hours later, Caroline was waking up. And I said, you know, I've got us a all-day fast pass for Magic Mickey. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, and now you know that something's happened. But Caroline said, well, how did you get that? I said, I just went down to the reception and said that Magic Mickey or Mickey Mouse was my favourite character, and is there a way to get a special meeting with him, something along those lines. And it came out of my mouth, and I was like, you have no tact, Sean. But anyway, Caroline said, alright, so you just went down and said he's your favourite character, and they've said, yes, here's an all-day fast pass. And I was like, yes! Who'd have guessed? That's what happened. So, anyway, it came to the day of the 10th of August, And I woke up and I think the 10th of August we had Chef Mickey in the morning, and then we had Be Our Guest in the evening, we had all day fast pass for Talking Mickey, we had all sorts of different things going on. And I was like, oh, today is the day. We can't get stressed, we can't do anything like this, today's got to go perfectly. So while Caroline was in the bathroom brushing her teeth, I opened my suitcase that had been locked in the corner since we had arrived. I took out the ring that was in the box, in the sock, and put it in my bag, and then covered my stuff like with the camera accessories and all that sort of things. And I was like, it's on me, we're all good. And then I just tried my best to act as if it was just you know, another day in this magical land. And so we kind of got we done Chef Mickey, we had a nice breakfast, and then we went on a few more fast passes. So luckily we had the whole day fast pass, so I think we done Splash Mountain or something like that. And from there we then went to Magic Mickey. So we went there and we met Tinkerbell first, and as we were, and I knew that when you came out of the Tinkerbell, you got straight into the line for Magic Mickey. And I was like, there's going to be no time for me to take the ring out without Caroline realising it and put it in my pocket, getting ready for the proposal. I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? So I remember, so I had my rucksack on and Caroline was talking to me, and I had my hand behind my back and I unzipped my bag. I picked up the sock which had the ring in the box in it, and one-handedly I managed to take the sock off, and then I think Caroline turned around just for a split minute or a split second. I took the box out and I put it in my back pocket. By this time I was like, this is all going swimmingly. But as soon as we got into the queue for Magic Mickey, I got really nervous. I was like, oh gosh, what if she says no? What if it doesn't work out? What if the cast member says, oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that? Or there's a big queue and we're rushed out of the place. So I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So I had the ring in my back pocket. As you're in the queue, they sort of let a certain amount of people into Magic Mickey's showroom at a time. So I think we were in a queue and then everyone in front of us got let in. So we were the first ones to go in for the next time. Whew. So I'm getting nervous thinking about what I did. So we were in there and then we got called in and a whole group of other people got called in behind us. So after the family in front of us got let out, it was our turn. So the cast member came over and I think it's on the vlog. I was like, hey, can you just carry on recording? That'd be great. And he did. And thank goodness. He carried on filming. We interacted with Mickey. We done a few magic tricks and then got him to sign an autograph book and had a few pictures taken. But it's quite funny because looking back on our Memory Maker photographs, you can actually see the ring in my pocket. And I was like, oh no, when can I do it? When can I do it? When can I do it? Being quite theatrical in how I wanted to do it, I kind of made the connection. I was like, Mickey Mouse, magic, magician. So I was like, hey, can I ask Mickey to help me with a magic trick? I instantly knew the cast members were like, we don't know what's going on. And Mickey himself was like, I don't know what's going on. But I kind of just had to go with it. And talking back to Caroline, she didn't have a clue what was going on. She was like, oh gosh, what's Sean doing? He doesn't know any magic. Yeah, from then on you have hopefully seen the video. They said, yeah, I'm sure Mickey can help you with a magic trick. So I then asked Mickey, can you cover her eyes?
Trick it is.
I need you to cover her eyes.
Can you cover her eyes?
Cover her eyes? Okay. See? Wait a minute. Okay, I'll tell you when to open it. Mickey, just let her know. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Yes! 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 Yes!
And voila, it happened. Sweet, sweet relief. And she said yes, which was all the more worth it. So it was all a bit of a shock for Caroline, which was fantastic. It was what I wanted. It was such a nice thing to have not only the video recording it, but the Memory Maker there Mickey Mouse there. There are so many places you can propose in Disney World, as you can imagine. Talking Mickey is just one of them. Whilst we were there, we saw 2 other people propose. One was in Cinderella's royal table, and that was actually before I had planned to propose. So Caroline was like, "Oh, look at them," and I was like, But that was great. So the guy had obviously arranged it with Cinderella's royal table and Disney, that they were sitting in really good seats. As well as that, we saw someone propose at the end of Wishes. There are so many places, as you can imagine, to propose in Disney, like, you know, down Main Street or in front of the castle, in your hotel room, on a ride, etc, etc. My advice would be, if you really want to remember the moment, try and arrange it to do it with a PhotoPass like Memory Maker. Like I said, they are so adaptable to your situation. They're not going to be like, next. If you're doing something a little bit different, they will sort of bend themselves to go over above and beyond. The Memory Maker that we had took her pictures on the camera, and then she also took Caroline's phone and was taking pictures as well, because Caroline's a bit of a mess. And so that was really nice. I mean, some people don't like it, some people don't want it more intimate, and, you know, in the hotel room is great. I mean, you're still in Disney, so that's amazing. But for me, I wanted it to be remembered. I want Caroline to remember it, because I can only imagine it was all a bit of a shock. So doing it with a PhotoPass Memory Maker really made a difference. So hopefully that has given you a bit of an insight into the process of how, I think, for a year I planned the proposal. If you are planning on proposing at Disney World, good luck. I hope it goes very well. Like I say, mine went swimmingly, better than I could have ever imagined, and I got Mickey to do it, which was my ambition, so that was great. And now we're full-blown planning the wedding, so that's, I mean, it's such a great feeling. And literally after I did it, the weight it was relieved. I could then sit back and really enjoy the holiday. Not that I was not enjoying it, but I could enjoy it more. Let me know what you think of this video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We do videos every Sunday, and we do weekly vlogs. Please give the video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And Caroline will be back next week, so it won't just be me. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope you've enjoyed it, and we shall see you, both of us, Caroline's right here, next week. Bye!